In this video, I'm going to share my experience and my opinion on estrogen pills versus the creams versus the patches, and the benefits that you gain by supplementing with estradiol for perimenopause and menopause symptoms. Hi friends, I'm Peggy with Hormone Therapy Hub. I help women like you navigate their way through perimenopause and menopause. I've been on HRT since December of 2019 and have never looked back. If you've been researching and studying hormone replacement therapy, you've likely heard of bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. And that's a lot of long words, so let me help you break them all down. First of all, bioidentical refers to substances that have the same chemical structure as those found naturally in the body. In the context of hormone therapy, bioidentical hormones are synthetic hormones that are chemically identical to the hormones produced by the body's endocrine system. Hormone replacement therapy, also called HRT, is a medical treatment that involves administering hormones to replace those that are no longer being produced or are produced in insufficient amounts by the body. It is primarily used to alleviate symptoms associated with menopause in women, such as hot flashes, night sweats, and mood swings. So how do you know if the HRT you are considering is bioidentical? Well, you need to look at the ingredients on the label or ask what you are being prescribed. We as women have several different kinds of estrogen. The one that we need to replace for perimenopause and menopause is estradiol, D-I-O-L. So if your HRT you're considering is estradiol as the main ingredient, then it's considered bioidentical. Bioidentical estrogen can be a pill, a patch, or a cream. When I first started HRT back in 2019, my original diet doctor put me on an estrogen progesterone troche. A troche is a pill that melts under your tongue and then absorbs into your system. I had read some papers on the different formulations of estradiol. So after a few years, when I switched from getting my HRT from a local doctor who really wasn't all that local, he was 45 minutes away, I wanted to see if I could find an online HRT provider who would prescribe an estradiol cream. And that's when I found Winona. And if you've been looking at online HRT providers, you've likely come across them. During my initial communications with Winona, my HRT specialist and I landed on prescribing for me their estradiol/progesterone cream and then their DHEA pills. This was about $74 per month. I used these two products for several months, and although I felt okay, I was still curious about my hormone levels and if I was getting the right amount of estrogen and progesterone. So after my 3-month prescription from Winona ran out, I switched to a company called Joy Women's Wellness. They require blood work and labs before they'll prescribe HRT. I went to their website, chose the lab panel that I wanted, and paid for it. They immediately sent me lab orders to visit a nearby LabCorp. Within a week, LabCorp had sent my blood results to me and then also to Joy Women's Wellness. I then scheduled my one-on-one consultation with one of their clinicians. I met with Brooke, and she pointed out that even though I was already on an HRT cream of estradiol and progesterone, my levels were still pretty low. And after a few minutes of conversation, we decided together that I would switch to an estradiol patch and take the progesterone as a tablet, 100 milligrams. The estradiol patch was the 050 dosage. We also decided that I would start taking testosterone as an injection. And 3 months later, when it was time for me to be tested again, now my estrogen was through the roof and it was way too high. My progesterone was still too low and my testosterone was still low. So we tweaked my meds again. But keep in mind, we would not have known any of this had it not been for the lab work. We went from the 0.025 estrogen patch, so half of what the other dose was, and then we doubled my progesterone to the 200 milligram tablets. And then she suggested that rather than doing my testosterone injection once a week, we up it to 2 times per week. Then 3 months later, I was tested again, and now my estrogen was on the low side. My progesterone was good, and so was my testosterone. So then we went for the patch. That's between the 0.025 and the 0.05. So I'm on the 0.0375 today, and then 200 milligrams of progesterone, and then I cycle the testosterone throughout the year, mainly because of cost. So in my opinion, the estrogen cream just didn't absorb well, specifically for me. You might have a totally different experience. Today, the patch is my preferred formula of estradiol. Plus, I only have to remember to switch it out twice a week. It's a real small patch, about the size of a nickel. You peel off the backing, and then you place it somewhere on your torso, away from where your waistband of your pants would hit when dressed. It stays on when I shower, and it's clear, so it's hardly noticeable if you are worried about that. I've always gotten my patches at the local CVS pharmacy. I used my medical insurance that I receive as a benefit from my full-time employer. I've paid as much as $96, and that was in August of 2024 for a 3-month supply. And then I paid $31 in November of 24 for another 3-month supply. I can't speak to why there was such a difference to the cost, as that is still a mystery to me. I have yet to figure that one out. But if you know the answer, please share in the comments below. The main benefits I feel that I gain from using an estradiol patch are, number 1, no more night sweats. 2, I'm not as irritable and I no longer have the desire to kill my husband. 3, no more hot flashes. And then 4, I was finally able to shed some weight along with using semaglutide for about 6 months. Well, there you have it. My thoughts on estradiol and whether the pill, the patch, or the cream is better. I'll include links to Winona and also to Joy Women's Wellness if you want to check them out. Winona is simple and doesn't require a one-on-one consult or a startup fee. Joy does require labs for hormone testing, and the one-on-one consult is included in the lab costs when you pay for those. I'd go this route if you have interest in knowing your blood hormone levels. I'll put in the comments the coupon codes I have for my audience for both Joy's lab tests and semaglutide, or your first order of Winona. If you have questions, please feel free to leave me a comment.